Some of my healthiest aquariums ended up breaking every rule. No CO2, no soil, no fertilizers, and barely any filtration. I didn't plan it that way, but it was a pleasant surprise. So in this video, I want to show you how that happened, what I learned from each setup, and why these tanks work even though they break almost every rule we're used to hearing. The first setup started as a glass flower vase that I originally wanted to use for cherry trims. I wanted to add some plants, so I took a few stems of Rotala narrow leaf and a couple of other species from my other tanks. I thought it would be a good idea to use a piece of cholla wood and tuck the plants into the small holes it has. I also knew I wanted some kind of filtration. I grabbed a small plastic storage container and used an old soldering iron to melt a large opening at the top. Then I cut a piece of corrugated plastic and glued it over the opening to create an outflow. The idea was to make a simple cascade style filter. I placed a small pump inside the glass base to push water into the filter. The water would pass through filter media and then return back into the vase. Then the disaster happened. After the first night, I lost 2 shrimp, and after that, they kept dying one by one every night. It was honestly terrifying. At the time, I thought the issue might be the vibration from the pump inside such a small glass container, so I removed the pump completely. Looking back, the shrimp were probably dying from an illness, not the pump. I've since used the same pump setup in other tanks without any issues. That aquarium ended up running without a filter, without soil, without fertilizers, and without CO2. It did still have a strong light. Over time, everything stabilized. The shrimp stopped dying, they started breeding, and eventually the vase became too small for them. That's when I realized something important. I had accidentally kept shrimp alive and thriving without heavy equipment and without doing most of the things we are told are required. After that, I took a shallow tank that I already had and I decided to set it up the same way. No filtration, no soil, no fertilizers, and no CO2. I moved everything from the glass vase into this new tank. The plants, the shrimp, and even the water. The idea was to keep whatever biological filtration the vase had already built. The problem was scale. This tank was much larger than the original glass vase, and the bacteria that existed in the smaller setup wasn't enough to support the new water volume. That's when I came across something interesting. I read that terrestrial plants can be used to help filter aquarium water. Unlike aquatic plants, terrestrial plants can take up ammonia and nitrite directly, which is closer to what beneficial bacteria do in an aquarium. So I decided to try it. I added terrestrial plants with their roots in the water, and to my surprise, it worked extremely well. One important thing, if you ever try this, the plants should be rooted in aquarium soil or gravel, not regular potting soil. Potting soil will completely destroy your water parameters if it comes in contact with the water. Only the roots should be in the water, not the entire plant. I tried a few different terrestrial plants, but my favorite was a strawberry plant. It grew really well. And I even got a few strawberries from it. They were surprisingly good. This setup took longer to mature than a high-tech aquarium. Growth was slower, but everything grew in a very natural way. In the end, the tank was stable, the plants were healthy, and the system worked without filtration, CO2, fertilizers, or soil. Before we move on to the last part of the video, I want to quickly mention that I have a new and improved version of my aquarium vacuum with a smoother locking mechanism and a tighter seal, which increases power significantly. If you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description. And if you guys are enjoying the video, remember to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and get to more people who love this hobby. By now, you might have noticed something. Both of these aquariums were never planned from the start. They were the result of either mistakes or experiments. There was no intentional hardscape, no real aquascaping idea behind them. Things just happened, and I learned from them. But at this point, I had gained a lot more experience, and I started wondering something. Could I build a beautiful and intentional aquascape without CO₂, without fertilizers, and without even using a soil layer? So I decided to try. This time, I wanted to build a tree-style scape. I've done treescapes before, but those were fully high-tech setups. This was different. The first step was plant selection. Low-tech systems don't forgive bad plant choices, so I kept it very simple. I chose 4 species: Freesia for the tree, Anubias Nana Petite to create contrast against the light green Riccia, Monte Carlo for the carpet, and Tripartita for a little bit of detail. For the tree, I used a piece of wood I've had for a long time. I believe it's spiderwood, but I could be mistaken. What matters is that it has lots of small branches. That makes it easy to tuck Riccia between them without tying anything down. For the rocks, I use dragonstone, mainly because it doesn't leach minerals into the water, which is important for a system like this. I placed the Anubias between the rocks, and for the carpet, I used Monte Carlo that I already had growing in small cups. They were fully grown, so the tank looked established from day one. The foreground is sand, and this time I'm not using any terrestrial plants. Instead, I added a very small cascade filter, rated for a 1-gallon tank. This aquarium is 7 gallons, so the filter isn't doing heavy filtration, it's only there for water movement. All the real filtration is happening inside the aquarium, on the glass, the plants, the substrate, and the hardscape. It's been a week since I set it up, and so far, it's been doing very well. I am fertilizing right now only because there are no fish yet, except for a few bladder snails that snuck in with the plants. I want to wait about 3 weeks before adding any other livestock. Once fish go in, I'll stop fertilizing completely, and the system would rely only on fish waste and uneaten food. No CO₂, no soil layer, no fertilizers, and no filter doing the heavy lifting. That's the idea. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. I really want this one to work. Let's see how it goes.